This is a response to the video you sent me when you were in Las Vegas, which is a place I think everyone should visit at least 0 times. I've been there 3 times, but never for more than 36 hours. I don't know if I could make it to 48. It's a lot to take in. I think your reaction to it was pretty spot on. I really loved the points you brought up, so I want to get right to addressing those. And first, thank you for reading my review. Thank you for rereading my review. And thank you for saying what you said. It was not and never is my intention to make you angry just for its own sake. But I have and will occasionally try to challenge and upset your comfort level. And that was the case here. And if I was able to do that, all I can express is appreciation and humility. What you said meant a great deal, and I really appreciate it. I love your question about making the tools of the wealthy available to the masses, and your question of what do I think it would accomplish. My first reaction is nothing bad. I'm a believer in making knowledge and information as widely available as possible to anyone who wants it. So I don't necessarily think that there's any reason to believe that it could hurt. I think there's a cap on how much good it would do. One thing, whatever criticism I may have for the wealthy or the soon-to-be wealthy, they're not lazy. They know how to get things done. And if you took that information, those tools, and you gave it to someone who's living in poverty, they might not be able to accomplish anything. They might not have the time. They might not have the guts or the ambition. Or they might simply have talked themselves into being trapped. Learned helplessness is a real thing. So I don't know that it is in and of itself a solution, but I think it's certainly a step in the right direction. And I think there would be more people who would do something with it than there are if the knowledge is not available. Eventually, the way my mind goes is eventually you'd hit the roadblock. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that someone who works harder shouldn't be better rewarded. I'm saying that someone who works harder shouldn't be fiendishly over-rewarded than people who work almost as hard or just as hard as them, but in the wrong field or with the wrong title or with the wrong tax form. And that even a person who does not work anywhere near as hard is entitled to basic human services. Forgive me, the sun is coming through. You're going to have to deal with that glare. But I think it was a great question, and I really appreciate where you're coming from with it. I have been trying to understand the other side of the aisle myself. I'm certainly more left-leaning. I'm certainly more socialist-leaning. And there are people for whom that is a tremendously bad word, and I've been trying to figure out why. Because I find it hard to believe that people just hate other people. So I tried to figure out what was it about the concept of socialism, and I think what I figured out is capitalism is still one of the newest systems, and there are still narratives where capitalism is what rescued us from monarchy, what rescues us from tyranny, and even what rescued us from slavery. That's a flawed narrative, but it exists. The idea that it was capitalism and the desire to make your own fortune that allowed us to expand this country and end slavery. It also allowed us to steal a shitload of land from other people and to create a new slave class in the form of the worker. But there are still people who look at capitalism as that's the way to go, that's the ticket out of here. And I don't agree, but I see why that is the way it is. I have an idea. I suppose it's a challenge of sorts. I just finished reading this book. I don't know if you can see it there. Nickel and Dimed by Barbara Ehrenreich. I don't know how to pronounce her name. It's the story of a journalist who goes undercover and lives as a low-wage worker. She does not allow herself access to her bank account. She does not allow herself access to any of the resources that she knows exist. She lives as a poor person. She gets whatever job she can get. She does this 3 times in 3 different cities. And it's kind of harrowing. And what I would say is, read it. I'm sending you a copy. Read it and keep a list of the things you think the workers could have done to improve their situation and the things you think that the owners, because there's very clearly two groups in this book. There are the property and business owners, and there are the workers. And let me know what you think of, because I think you could guess what my reaction is to the book. Maybe you will see something that I missed. Maybe you will see opportunities that they could have used to better improve their scenario. Or maybe you won't. Maybe you will see how fucked they are and find that it really is more on the people at the top to ease the suffering of the poor than it is for the people at the bottom to lift themselves up by their own bootstraps when they can't afford boots. Check it out. I'm sending you some goodies in an email, some links I think you'll appreciate. I'm hoping to put together some more videos. If you don't hear from me on a video, you'll hear from me on a phone call real soon. Thank you again for the last one, and I will talk to you soon, my friend. Take care.